Welcome to Legacy Leaders, a weekly talk show with national and local thought leaders on issues impacting the South Florida Black community. Now introducing our host, Anne-Marie Sorrell.
Hello and welcome to Legacy Leaders. I'm your host, Anne-Marie Sorrell, President and CEO of the Mosaic Group. Today I'm joined by Gerald Hawkins Sr, founder, and Robert L. Jackson III, co-founder of Fathers M.I.A, and we will discuss the importance of bridging the gap between fathers and their children. I'd like to now welcome Gerald and Robert. Welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome. Hey, thank you, Ms. Anne-Marie.
Greetings. How you doing, Anne-Marie? Welcome.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. This is such an important topic, whether it's those who have a wonderful relationship with their father, which we, wish that was the case for everyone. But then there are those who may not have a father in their life for many different reasons, whether their father is no longer here on this earth or maybe they were absent for whatever reason. And so I really, really want to hear about your organization and you all and your background and, what you're doing with Fathers M.I.A and why your work is so important. So let's get right to it. We're going to start with Gerald and your background. Can you briefly share your background and what led you to being the founder of Fathers M.I.A?
Yes, Marie, thank you for having us here today. We consider it such an honor to be on such a show as yours, and we just wanted to say thank you. And listen, we love our South Florida community, but I just wanted a little small background. My name is Gerald Hawkins Sr. I am originally from this little small town called Avon Park, Florida. I was adopted at birth, believe it or not. And I joined the military at the tender age of 18. Spent years in the military and then moved down here to South Florida in the Hollywood area. And while I was here, I was mentoring at my church young men. And while I was mentoring young men, I noticed that fathers weren't involved in their lives. So, and then we'll go ahead and I get into that story a little bit later. But I just want to just kind of introduce myself, just to that I've been a mentor, a leader here down in South Florida, football coach. I am right now currently the high school chaplain for Miramar High School as well.
Awesome. And Robert L. Jackson III. Tell us briefly about your journey and, how you became the co-founder. I guess you and Gerald connected somehow, somewhere along the line.
Yes, again, it's an honor. Thank you so much for having us on this great and wonderful show. My name is Robert L. Jackson III, and I'm the co-founder of Fathers M.I.A, and it's an awesome position to be in. My background is that I grew up with a two-parent home, my mother and my father. And it's just an awesome thing to be in and see that at times. I'm a college graduate of Oral Roberts University. I'm currently the co-founder of Fathers M.I.A. I am a local pastor here in the South Florida area. And it's just a privilege and an honor to be the co-founder. How I became the co-founder is, don't want to tell too much of the story, but Mr. Hawkins, a friend, we have a very good friendship and a connection. And he would just talk to me and then express his concern about not seeing the fathers at the events that he was coaching at or mentoring at. He would always see the mothers bringing the children and not the fathers. And it was very passionate to his heart that we need to understand that fathers are important and the fathers need to be a part of the child's life. And so the more and more he would talk to me, the more and more he would express his passionate concern. I would write down the vision, the mission, the objective, the purpose, and everything. He didn't know I was doing this based on a conversation with him. Then finally, the last time we talked, before we actually went into our launching, I said, well, Hawk, we got to stop talking about it and be about it. I call him Hawk, y'all. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, we have our articles in corporation. We have a 501c3. We are a legitimate organization. Let's move forward with this great vision that you have. And that's how it started.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. Don't talk about it, be about it. So let's, what exactly is Fathers M.I.A? What is it? What is your vision? What's your mission? What is it that you all do? Tell us about some of your programming.
Fathers M.I.A, fathers motivated, involved, and active. We, when people first look at the M.I.A, they think missing in action, or either Fathers Miami, but it's fathers motivated, involved, and active. We want to move those fathers that are missing in action to motivated, involved, and active. And as I started to say, I was mentoring, and I would notice that the kids would be dropped off by their mothers, and the fathers were always MIA, missing in action, or either coaching football with my kids, and mothers would drop their kids off to the practice, and fathers were always missing in action, unless their son was the superstar. Then this father would show up for the games for bragging rights, but the son wouldn't see their father no more until the next football game, which was the next week. And after the football season, sometimes he would barely see him at all. So that's where we have the heart that pulled the heartstrings. That's when we was like Mr. Jackson was saying, listen, guys, it pays to have a great friend. You know what I'm saying? Someone that can help motivate you. And as I was, like I said, like Mr. Jackson was saying, as I was talking about it, he was writing everything down, and here we are today. And we have really been actively trying to mentor the fatherless and try to help get these fathers to see the importance that they are to their child.
Well, thank you for that. So is the organization just focused on fathers and their sons, or do you also include fathers and, sons and daughters?
Right. The organization is based on fathers and children. And so we have different events throughout the year that we deal with the young ladies, where we have a spring gala every year during the month of April. And we work with first responders, police officers, because they already passed the background checks. We don't have to worry about them. Do a simulated father-daughter dance. And so we have these sessions, 9 sessions that we go through with these young ladies, teaching them motivation, teaching them etiquette, teaching them boss up entrepreneurship, how important they are. Then they have a healing session with our psychologists to deal with some of the hurt, the pain, and the trauma that's there. And so then we have our golf tournaments or our bowling tournaments with the young men, to pour in the young men and let them know how important and significant they are. And the reason that we don't concentrate on one above the other, but we know that it is important that we get our young men on track, because they're going to be the leaders. And if we look at it foundationally at times, they are going to be the leaders of the home or have a great, significant, important influence in the home. And so they need to be a part of the home in a child's life.
Do you have any stats or information on why there is absenteeism? I mean, there's a lot of theories that are out there, and sometimes fathers get a bad rep that shouldn't get a bad rep, and then sometimes they get a bad rep because they should get a bad rep. So what are the actual trends that you all see in this work, of why fathers may not be as engaged, and then do you see a change with the engagement as you work with these fathers?
Some of these fathers do what they've seen. A lot of our fathers never had a father, so they don't know how to be fathers. Some of our fathers are getting a bad rap. There's a lot of fathers that are out there that's trying to be involved in their kids' lives, but sometimes the conflict is there because sometimes the mother has that barrier that's set up. If you're not with me, I don't want you around the kid, or either giving that father a hard time. So we try to engage both fathers, the father that is missing in action, and also those fathers that are motivated, involved, and active. We partner. We have attorney Joseph, where he is going to be helping us give classes to fathers, help them matriculate through the court system, knowing the lingo and knowing how to get more involved in their child's life by legally going through the courts to help them to be more involved. We got those fathers who are that are incarcerated who can't be in their child's lives. We deal with kids whose fathers are also deceased. So we mentor we try to mentor on every level, mentoring the fatherless, and we try to mentor the fathers, help them. We have a curriculum that shows them how to be a better father. And we give them the statistics of a fatherless child, like 85% of youth that grew up, that go to prison, grew up without fathers. 71% of kids that are high school dropouts grew up in a fatherless home. 85% of kids that are labeled that have those behavioral disorders come from a fatherless home. So we try to let these fathers know, listen, no matter what society is saying, you are important and you are needed.
Thank you. Robert, you want to add anything to that, especially from a pastoral viewpoint that you said?
Well, the thing is, one thing that I want to add, and don't want to get too much into it, but we have to look at it also that there is things placed systematically for the plight or for the fail of the Black father or the Black man. We just have to understand that things are set in place. So when that happens, the Black father, the Black male, is already starting at a deficit, for lack of a term, because there's already things set up systematically for them not to succeed or be successful. So they have to push through a lot of these things. A lot of the things that Black fathers deal with or go through systematically, a lot of the fathers of different races and groups don't have to deal with. So I'm not making an excuse, but I'm just giving you understanding that there is a systematic thing in place that the fathers, Black fathers, have to push through, fight through, go through to deal with first. And another thing, even legally, the mother does not never have to prove that she's the mother. She's automatically receiving and giving the rights. But the father has to prove, has to jump through hula hoops. The ones that want to have to fight for that paternal position. So a lot of things are set in place that is not in the favor of the father really wanting and desiring to be the influential piece in a child's life. And so that's what I want to add. And from a spiritual understanding, it is important that regardless of what belief or what faith the person have, you have to grow yourself and understand yourself spiritually. You have to, because you have to teach that legacy. You have to be that role model. You have to give good and sound advice. So that's, some of the things that I see.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back to continue this discussion.
I grew up down here in South Florida, so for me, it's a little bit more personal.
For the Mesman & Dover Law Firm, it's about community.
For us, South Florida's our home. You all are our people.
Our family, our future.
The difference we'll make for you, your loved ones, your kids, matters, because to us, it's personal.
If you need us, call us 24/7 at 866-954-MORE.
That's 866-954-6673. The Mesman & Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com.
At DRT Behavioral Services, we provide culturally sensitive mental health evaluations with thorough treatment plans, incorporating alternative forms of wellness, not just Western traditional medicine. Besides medication management and psychotherapy, we provide education to people in the areas of minority mental health with classes on your diet's impact on mood and sleep hygiene for better rest. We also offer weight loss therapy, massages, and facials. Visit brainlovehelp.com today.
Your organization's ability to thrive is dependent upon your vision, hard work, and the people you employ. Wolf Creek Consulting is a top-rated executive staffing firm specializing in placing professionals in finance, IT, healthcare, and construction. We're a boutique executive staffing firm that focuses on recruiting the best and brightest candidates that are not aggressively pursuing opportunities, but are keeping their options open. From recruitment to workforce management, we offer solutions that reduce your human cost and turnover. We work with clients under several different options to include permanent placement, temporary, and temp to hire. Our clients are our partners, and we work to understand the job requirements and skills required for a candidate to be successful. Intelligent Staffing Solutions. To learn more, please give us a call.
When quality care is a priority for you and your family, choose Pediatric and Family Health and Wellness.
Hola. ¿Cómo estás hoy?
Muy bien, gracias a Dios.
Bien. How are you?
Welcome!
M.I.A. Media Group. We are the largest distributors of Black content in the state of Florida. We editorialize the success and achievement of the Black South Florida community. Our platforms are print, digital, and broadcast. We are Black Excellence.
Welcome back, Gerald Hawkins and Robert L. Jackson III from Fathers M.I.A. Let's continue the discussion that we're having around fatherhood. Now, we've talked about some of the reasonings as to why some fathers are absent, whether it's systematic or, the children's mother or, other socioeconomic challenges. Let's talk about the impacts that you've witnessed on youth, both on the impact when the fathers are absent. You mentioned trauma before, you have events that help with and programs that help deal with trauma and the children. But then also, I'd love to also hear, based on, since you've been doing the work that you do, how there's been a positive impact as well. So let's start first with, those impacts that these young people have to overcome.
A lot of the impacts that they have to overcome is one is a low self-esteem, identity. If we look at it in a sense of the way things would normally be, when a child is born and the father is there and the father's in the picture, the child would take on the father's last name. So he receives what, or she receives what? Identity. So it's so important that the child knows who they are, because you can't go anywhere or you can't move forward until you know where you came from or what you're dealing with. And so one of the things that we stress important is the identity of knowing who they are and that father giving that identity. So that's one of the things that the child has to deal with. And then rejection. Why does he want me? Why do I see other children with their fathers? Why do I see other children going and their fathers are taking them out and they're having at school, the father is there representing the breakfast or representing their recital, and the father is there present. Why is not my father there? Why didn't he want me? What is about me? So we have to deal with that rejection and build up that self-esteem, that insecurity, and all of that trauma. That is so traumatic. One of the things that I say all the time is this, is that when you have, and I give the analogy dealing with a building. When you have a building, you have the roof and there's a leak in the roof or a crack in the roof, you can call a roofer to come and fix the roof and everything is fine. If you have a crack in the wall or the side support of that building, you can call someone and fix that. But when the foundation or there's a crack in the floor, the foundation, they consider that building condemned. And so what we're trying to prevent is our families and our children living in a condemned state where we believe that the father foundationally should be there and should give that support. So our job is to change those stats that Mr. Hawkins had previously stated about what is the result of a father not being in place in a child's life.
Absolutely. Denard, would you like to add anything to that, or maybe take us into how the programs have positively impacted the youth that you work with?
Well, I would like to I know I said some negative stats earlier when the fathers are not there actively involved in the child's life. Let's give some positive stats when the father is there in the child's life. Children achieve higher they higher academic scores when the father is there in the life of the child. Stronger math skills, stronger verbal skills when the father is there in the child's life. Emotional stability when the father is there. Higher self-esteem when the father is there in the child's life, and fewer behavior issues when the father is there actively involved in the child's life. So the overall, the child is more productive, and the child is a happier child when the father is there. They seem to excel a little more when the father is there, and some of the things that we have a question, even when you go through child custody issues. When the stats are higher for when the father is there actively involved in the child's life, I think that the court should look at who would be the most productive parent, not just automatically assume that the mother is a better provider, but we need to go and see exactly who's more stable, who's more mentally sound, and who can actually bring that child up to be a more productive citizen in our community.
Thank you. What message do you have to the fathers out there, whether they're active or not so active? What message would both of you like to send to the fathers out there?
If I may, I want to start off by saying we want the fathers to know and the men to know that we understand. We understand that there's things in place. We understand that there's challenges that you have to face. But we want to give you the assurance and the support and encouragement that at any given point, just start. Whatever it may be, take the first step, initiate, take the first step, make a movement towards being that father or being part of your child's life. Whatever it may be, whatever you have to go through, whatever step it is, take that initial step. Stay strong, stay vigilant, do not give up, do not get discouraged, do not be depressed. Don't worry about mistakes that was made in the past, but take this opportunity now to make steps moving forward positively. And not only would it be great for the child, but it will also be great for you, because then that it relieves some of the burden off of you and the low self-esteem or even the things that you may be dealing with psychologically as a father. So be strong, be understanding. We understand. Take that first step, be initiative, and just become a better father.
And lastly, and real quickly, what would you say to the uncles, the grandfathers, the community leaders, for those children who don't have a father for other reasons, or their father may just not ever step up? Is there any advice you can give to those men out there who may be able to bridge that gap for those children?
One of the things I would say, there's a saying that we always would say, it takes a village to raise a child. And so let's keep that mentality and let's make those sacrifices and make investments and investing our time into our children. To make those sacrifices and take their time out to invest in them, see their potential, spend time with them, as Mr. Hawkins would say, and allow them to grow up and let them see that there are men out there that can be role models that can help them further their life, further their education, and be successful in life. So I would say, take the time out, be strong, be vigilant, but take the time out and invest in our young people so we can have a better community, a better society, and a better group of children that will be successful in life.
Bernard, any closing thoughts?
Yes, I would say if you want to make our community better, our men have to step up. Ladies have been doing an awesome job. And you look around you and you ask why. Why is our community the way it is in most cases? Ask the why. When I go And when I used to deliver mail and go through the Jewish communities, I would watch my Jewish brothers walking their kids to worship. Their son is walking side by side with them. You see some of our other brothers seeing how they're being there, helping to teach their kids the right from wrong and how to be productive in their household and also in their community. Our men, we have to step up. We have to be, even if you're not in the home, you have to be in the life of your child. And I promise you, if we step up, if we police our own, not police the whole community, but just police our household, if we are the ones to step up, teach, and provide, and show our kids how to be productive citizens, showing them that education is important, showing them how we treat our fellow man is important. It all stems from our men. Once our men show up, I promise you, our community will shine like no other.
Well, thank you both gentlemen, Gerald Hawkins Sr. and Robert L. Jackson III, for joining me today. You've heard it here, Fathers M.I.A. Get involved. And one more question, how does someone reach you all, Gennard, if they want to get involved?
Well, if someone wants to get involved, of course, you can reach us through our website, fathersmia.org. We have all our contact, all our information there at fathersmia.org. We are on all social media platforms, Facebook, Fathers M.I.A, Instagram, Fathers M.I.A. If you want to email us, it is admoffice@fathersmia.org. Email us. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. If you're wondering how to that son of your or that daughter is acting out because of the fact that they are missing their father out of their lives, let's have a conversation. We're partnering with a lot of other organizations that may be able to help out. We have a counselor also that we do group sessions as well. We do those sometime quarterly through Zoom. So listen, we're here for the community, we're here for you, and we're here for our kids.
Thank you so much, Gerald Hawkins Sr. and Robert L. Jackson III, founder and co-founder of Fathers M.I.A. Thank you for joining me today. And thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Anne Marie Sorrell. See you next time on Legacy Leaders.